Welcome to our February 9th meeting, and we will start with a moment of silent prayer. And stand for the pledge.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Treasurer, when you're ready, call the roll.
Mrs. Davis?
Here.
Mrs. Thomas? Here. Mr. Benton?
Here.
Mr. Koppel?
Here.
Mr. Frazier?
Here.
And the reading of the notice of the meeting.
This is a public meeting of the Board of Education for the purpose of conducting the school district's business, and it's not to be considered a public community meeting. There's a time for public participation during the meeting as indicated in the agenda. Each statement made by a participant shall be limited to 3 minutes. Upon request of the superintendent, the district shall make reasonable accommodation for a person with a disability to be able to participate in this activity. A recording shall be made of each meeting of the board as administrative aid and shall be preserved as public documents of the board.
Great, and I know we have at least one addition to the agenda?
Yes, we have a few
Okay.
additions to the agenda which I'd like to present before the board votes on it. On resolution, it's under consent 2602.28. Look back there. And if you go to volunteers, which should be in E on yours, mine might be a little
Yes.
different. Okay.
Page 5.
And we have Joel Metelko on there. Please scratch him as a volunteer. He's in the wrong category, actually. So we're not asking the board to,
Yeah.
we're not asking him to, or asking the board to approve him as a volunteer. And then instead, we will put him under the previous item, so that'll be D, pupil activity employment. And I'd like to put Joel Metelko as the 7th grade softball coach, and he'll be at the beginning step, so it'll be 0, group 4, and that'll be for the 25-26 school year. Good?
You said 25, 26?
Yep.
Okay.
What's the matter? Your computer's slow? Okay. I can keep going now?
We'll
I
take
can help you
notes.
with this.
We'll take
Okay.
notes.
I can help you with this. Sometimes we use an online system, so it drags, drags a little bit. The one other change I have is if you go to resolution 26-02-030, it should be under the treasurer section. There's a resolution for incentive review group tracking agreement. I'd like to remove that from the agenda for tonight. That's one that Mrs. Drumby's going to do some additional work on. She's talked with a couple of board members, so I'm going to pull that off so that I can have further review. Probably work in finance, I think is what you said on that. Look at finance, and then we'll bring that back to the larger board.
All right.
So those are the only changes to the agenda unless there's questions. Otherwise, we have adoption of the agenda.
Any questions? All right, can I get a motion?
I have to read, sorry.
Oh,
Resolution
sorry.
26-02-027 is adoption of the agenda.
Can I get a motion?
So moved.
I'll second.
Call the roll.
Mr. Benton?
Yes.
Mrs. Thomas?
Yes.
Mrs. Davis?
Yes.
Mr. Frazier?
Yes.
Mr. Koppel?
Yes.
And no public remarks?
Yep.
All right. Ohio Leadership Institute field trip.
Yes, so we have 2 presentations tonight. The first one is Ohio Leadership Institute field trip. I believe Mr. Shipton is going to kick that off for us, right? And we have some staff and some students to highlight some of the work.
Good afternoon. At this time, I'd like to bring to the podium Mr. Kevin Barnhart. Mr. Barnhart is our Ohio Model UN advisor. He's going to give a little background. I know we have 2 new board members, Mr. Frazier, Mr. Koppel this year, on the board to kind of give the history of Ohio Model UN here in Johnstown. And then I would and I have a couple other teachers I'd like to introduce that chaperone this year's event. And then I have some future leaders or some seniors I want to call up to share their experiences and gratitude for your support in sending them to Ohio Model UN this year.
Thank you. Yeah, the Ohio Model UN, we've been doing it here in Johnstown for about 5 or 6 years. It's been like, I think, 25 years overall. It's a gathering of students from all over Ohio. They get about 1,000 students, and 5 to 10 students assume the role of delegates from a certain country, assigned to them, and then they research that, and then for 3 days in December, the students go and present resolutions that they have worked on to smaller committees, and then if they're chosen by those smaller groups, they argue this in front of the whole assembly of about 1,000 students. So it's a 3-day event. There are individual contests. Some students put on talent shows, either songs about or songs from their countries that they represent. And it is really student-driven. And I think that's why they take a lot of pride in it, because it's their event. It's remarkable to see. If we go again next year, I would invite any or all of you to come down and watch, because it is something to see. And I'm grateful to the board because we're one of a few where the board pays for the trip. The first time we did it, the students had to come up with it, and that's $300 or so, which can be prohibitive to some families. They wouldn't be able to meet that. But with your support, we haven't had to turn anybody away yet, and never had any real problems down there. It's always a fun time. Weird circumstances. I haven't been able to make it the last 2 times. I was sick 2 years ago, just this past. My father had surgery, so I had to be there. It's hopefully next year I'll be able to go to the fun part. But they work a lot on these resolutions. The only problem we have is that it's hard to try to get them together to meet because they're doing so much other stuff too. I mean, you can see we have football players and just band members, and it can be tough to try to get them all together. But we make it work each year, and I really enjoy it, and I think they do too. So I'd just like to thank you all for that.
How many do we have this year?
We had about 26 kids this year. So and that's probably where we'll cap it, around 30. So.
I would also like to bring up our 2 chaperones. They both chaperoned last year as well, the event, Mr. Joel Foxell and Mrs. Shannon Cox.
Just a lot of, words, gratitude, thank you. It's really extraordinary to see these kids, walk into that leadership space after they've worked really hard on resolutions and then stand up. Sometimes it might be the first time they've ever been presenting in front of groups more than just their comfortable classmates. And also seeing them connect with kids from all over Ohio that are from such diverse school districts and backgrounds and cities. And every single time the kids come away, I think, with a unique experience and with an appreciation for what we offer here in Johnstown. So it's been an extraordinary experience, and I appreciate it, and I know the kids do as well. Thank you.
Yeah, I'll just add that not only are they doing their own research, but they also have to, presenting that research, but they also have to be able to answer questions and debate on the spot and really know their research. Being able to develop those skills is just something that'll be able to help them as they progress in life as well. It's always just a great opportunity for them, and I've enjoyed being able to go these last 2 years. So thank you.
Yeah. I was just gonna add, we have always really enjoyed when the students come in and they share their country. And it's not just policy, understanding global issues, how countries work together. We're always really, really impressed, and we're glad that, they have such a great group of students going every year. They just seem to really enjoy it. The ones who are there and are really passionate about, like you said, doing all the extra work. It's not just showing up, it's preparing ahead of time. So it's very cool to see.
And I also would like to add, your group is the only one that has come back each year to tell us
Yes.
how things went and what the students liked or disliked and how the results were from their perspective and from the leaders that took them. So I appreciate that. Thank you.
The importance of providing our students the opportunity for real life simulations, real world experiences, and the relations they build at this event is wonderful. So thank you all. I would be remiss if I didn't mention we have 5 seniors in attendance this afternoon. I have Will Fleshman, come on up, Maddie Davis, Isabella Salergi, Ryan Moore, and Shannon Thomas. I believe we have, which one wants to talk? Share yours.
So those public speaking skills.
This was my first Ohio Model UN. I hadn't gotten into it the first 3 years of high school, but decided to do it this year because all my buddies forced me into it. They said it would be really fun, and they were correct. I had a blast. I got to meet new people, talk, laugh. It wasn't all super serious the whole time, but when it came to getting down to business, I had to speak, and that was a first for me, talking in front of people that I have no clue, like Mrs. Cox said. So it was a good experience. So thank you for making it possible for us to go.
What countries did you represent?
I represented Georgia.
Georgia.
So.
Anyone else? You guys have different countries in Georgia?
The whole Georgia team came.
So Rhiannon and I, we were from Djibouti, so that was pretty fun, like researching, like I've heard of Georgia before at least, but I've heard of Djibouti, but I knew nothing about it. Learned out it's close to Oman, and it's in that like Saudi Arabia area, and they have like a beautiful city and culture there, so that was very fun to learn. Also, during the time of Model UN, there was Columbus Comic-Con, so there was also like a bunch of other people just out and about, so that was pretty cool to see. Rhiannon and I met Matthew Lillard, who is like a famous actor, so we got a photo with him. He was very kind, so that was cool. Just a fun fact. So, but yeah, thank you.
Good.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Awesome.
Anybody else want to
Thank
share?
you. No.
Sure?
Sure. Now's your chance.
Thank you.
Good?
Yeah, good.
Isn't
All
that
right.
nice?
I always enjoy
Yeah.
it when you guys come and tell us how
It was-
things were.
It was something that I always wished, I didn't have that opportunity when I was in high school, and I wished I would have. So I might have to take you up on attending and just popping in and observing. I would just love to see how it's conducted. It seems like
If you remind us next year, give us like about a month lead time, and I'll try to get it out to the board, because if you haven't gone, it's really a nice, it's,
yeah, it seems
there's
like.
there's so many kids, it's very big, but you get to able to watch some of this, and it's really a great experience, so.
It's
Do you
at
have
Greater
any-
Columbus Convention Center.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
They
They-
come from all over.
They fill that.
Do they give you any idea ahead of time of what country, or do they break it down by groups, or it's just random? It could
No,
be-
you pick, you basically get to pick which nations you want. This year, we also had the Congo, but apparently our Congo reps aren't here. But we had that, and you picked that, and you better you better get your choices in on the bus ride home, because some schools start that early, selecting their nation.
Okay.
We've got two, we may have three next year. We have Italy and the Bahamas.
Okay.
I know are two of the, and if the board would like, I could fly down there and do some. And finance, I can do some first-hand research.
That's right.
Especially
Wait.
now.
Maybe you can find some
What'd you say about, I was
scholarships.
gonna say fundraising what?
Scholarships. Grants.
Okay.
Very cool, thank you.
Thank you.
All right, district financial forecast.
Yes. So I think Mr. Busenberg's going to cue this up for us. You know, for about a year now, we've been monitoring the state budget, property tax reform. That has been the big discussion. And just, you know, a quick refresh and some for the benefit of our interested residents, wanted to discuss that impact on the forecast. Because that's really what's driving change from what we looked at in October. Okay? Oh. I think he needs to advance that for me. Okay.
Brad's got you.
Awesome. Thank you. So there were 4 different bills that were really impacting finances and budgeting, but House Bill 186 with the tax credits has been the biggest driver that is impacting our forecast. What it includes, just kind of at a high level, are retroactive tax credits for homeowners for the tax year 2023. Our tax credit for our community is $2,244,000, and that is going to be credited back from the state directly to property owners. And how they're going to fund that is the sales tax holiday that occurs in August. The state is canceling that, and that way schools can still receive the same amount of money for tax year 24 without having to refund those credits directly. So what homeowners will see, you know, our residents might be interested, would be a credit on their second half bill, tax bill. And if someone owns a $300,000 home, that tax credit would be about $298. So it's significant. I would suggest homeowners carefully monitor those credits and maybe just pay their first half of their tax bill, and then see in probably August what may be due, because this could have some impact on their escrow, if they do escrow. But future credits is really what we're looking at, because that's what will affect our revenue stream. And future credits are going to happen as our property value grows, if it grows more than the GDP deflator, which is really just a set amount of inflation that the state is going to allow anyone who benefits from property tax collections to only have that grow by 9%. So what happens is our millage rates will be impacted by that growth. If values increase by more than 9%, our millage will get reduced. So how that looks for us, go ahead. Oh, he did? Okay,
Yeah.
sorry. I'll have to look up there. It's really, there are various elements to our millage, and not to put everyone to sleep. Just if you look at just the middle, what you'll see is that House Bill 335 is reducing our inside millage, and that's where we used to get 100% growth on inside mills. So that is being reduced. You can see for tax year 26, it'll go from 4.6 to 4.8. Oh yes, thank you, 0.08. Outside mills or voted mills, those are voted levies historically that have passed and been approved. That millage will be reduced. Currently, we have 15.4 reduced to 13.20. So what that does in that third row is you can see that it reduces us below the floor. And the floor was a minimum amount that established minimum millage that districts could collect. There also, House Bill 129 will count our emergency levy or any fixed sum levy. That will be counted toward the floor. So what we're seeing in the forecast then is this pressure of the reduction of voted millage to limit growth. Any questions on that? Okay. Now, how that looks in the forecast is, it could be significant, but I'll caution and say these projections will change depending on how great that growth is over 9%. Currently, our values have increased significantly, about 28% on average. So I anticipate and have modeled a 25% growth in value. And that's what's driving these reductions. So you can see it is the line, the second to the top that says property taxes. And over the course of 5 years, that's like $12,900,000. So it is significant over time. Each year, we'll have time to adjust, and I really think there will be more changes in in property tax law, because a lot of schools are not in a position like we are to have some time to adjust to this. We will see schools in crisis probably in the next 12 months. And I think there'll be then some corrective action to try to rescue schools. Next.
Felicia, can you go back to that real quick? I just want to make sure from a budgeting
Okay.
standpoint. So when we look at that is it the 1.010 line? Is that what we're tracking in terms of?
There are actually multiple.
Okay.
It's the first three, and they're summing up to the total of property taxes.
Okay,
So it's that second blue line from the top,
okay.
because we have public utility
Yeah.
taxes, and those are actually increasing because we get full voted millage on public utility. So that's why you see positive numbers there. But our state share of local property taxes on rollback homestead, that's being reduced as well.
So when we look at that property taxes, that second line, then, so for this year, we can surmount $131,000, but the next year it's 1.8 million. And this is not cumulative, right? This is
Right.
each year, right?
Yes.
So in fiscal year 27, it's 1.8 million, 3.5 million in fiscal year 28, 3.6 million in fiscal year 29, and then 3.7 million in fiscal year 2030.
Right,
Okay.
right.
That'll be important as we're going through budgeting, obviously,
Mhm.
the budget process. Okay.
Yeah. Next. So what I'm illustrating here for you, you have obviously more detail, and we spent, gosh, about an hour and 15 minutes at our work session diving in depth to some of the forecast projections. This is just a high-level summary so that you can see basically what is happening on an operating basis. You can see our beginning cash and ending cash, and then annual revenue and expenses. So this second from the bottom, revenue surplus or deficit, that's our line 6.0 on the forecast, which is essentially our annual operating. And then line 7.020 is ending cash at the end of each year. It's just a snapshot of where was cash that day. And then what you have below is our day, what that number, because that's a big number for us who, regular people. But for a school district our size with our budget, that shows you the days of operating cash that cash balance provides. And we do fall short of our established policy of 90 days. And the reason that may sound like a lot as well, because maybe at home we don't have 3 months of our bills set aside. But we also get paid every 2 weeks or every month or maybe every week. Well, the paydays for the school district are quarterly for our school district income tax and semi-annually for real estate tax. So that cash flow and having that cash on hand to aid with the ebb and flow of cash flow is why we have that target of 90. So next, we're dipping below that this year a little. and then kind of holding steady between 55 and 60, which is very respectable number. That we're fortunate that we can maintain. What that translates for us is we can maintain stability in our instructional process and operations while we're trying to adjust to other pressures. Any questions? Okay. Well, that would conclude then.
Is that the last, can you go back another slide? Stop right there. One thing I do have a question, or I just want to make sure I understand, that second to the last line there, so 1.05,
Yes.
that is, if I understand this correctly, so it's not really impacting us as heavily, at least it's a positive number in fiscal year 26, but in fiscal years 27 through 30, is that a shifting of, I want to make sure I'm summarizing this correctly, is that a shifting of our local, or the state tax is now shifting locally? Is that the new trend?
Actually,
'Cause
that's exactly the trend, and that's very insightful, because the state is reducing, and it happens naturally as this millage is reduced. It reduces the state's obligation on that same voted levy.
Is that part of that homestead rollback?
Yes, it is
okay.
exactly
That's
homestead rollback.
significant when you look at that, because it's smaller now, but it is growing, and that's going to put more onus on local school districts. We can't speak to others, but that is an interesting shift, because the requirements aren't becoming less
Right.
for us.
And what makes talking about this for every school challenging is no two schools are alike. We happen to be at the 20 mil floor, and so we're feeling this more than maybe even some of our neighbors, because that's who this, on the 20, when you're at the 20 mil floor, you from increases in property valuation. So another district that is well above the floor, they're envious of someone who's at the floor because they're not getting growth. But that's why it's impacting us a little bit more and quicker than maybe some other schools.
Yep.
So, I mean, while that is a scary picture and we're messaging, you know, how it impacts us with state legislators, we are positioned to navigate this, and we have time to navigate this.
And we'll keep you updated through the budgeting process. So.
Thank you. Board committees?
We did have curriculum, athletics, and extracurriculars. Actually, we had 2 meetings there, so I think we had 2 separate reports, right? One was more on the overnight field trips, and the other one was actually truly curriculum instruction.
Yeah, so in January, Ann and I, it was more of an athletics curriculum combo, and we had an opportunity to meet with coaches and the band director to discuss the band field trip to Disney next year, and then we also talked about softball trip. And it was just a really good, I would say it was a starting conversation about expectations, timelines, when we'd like to see the board to review things, but also just navigating through some of those tricky things that we see pop up, who can go, who can't go. So, yeah, we will definitely be diving more into that, but it was good to have representatives from both of those trips to come and answer our questions that we had.
The one thing about softball where we left off is they're going to try and expand that to the larger group based on
Okay.
our conversation. So,
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah.
That's
Maybe
coming up quick.
up to 30? Okay, up to, what's that?
Okay.
Yeah, because that's the capacity. So
That was
we
the
we might
check.
take up to 30 students, and I believe you're looking for a couple more chaperones to help, or the softball team is, or leadership. Yeah, so that was good discussion
Yeah.
about how I handle that, so.
And then for curriculum this month, we have a couple notes. For the actual curriculum, we are going to bring the top vendors for our social studies curriculum to the board possibly in March and get some demos. We've done that in the past. Jesse and Steve, when we're looking at curriculum, we'll have the different vendors give us a little bit of a rundown of a presentation. We also have materials at the board office if you want to sift through them. Ann and I will, but they're there's some of the workbooks and teacher units as well for you to look at. We looked at the program of studies for next year, and we are adding health into the 8th grade as an early option so that students can get that high school requirement done. We realize with sports and bands and all the, I'll say, wonderful things we have offered at the high school level, it can be really tricky to fit that in. So excited to see health added as an early option for our middle schoolers. We're also looking at adding advanced science for 6th and 7th graders as well. Again, looking at program of studies for high school. The multi-skilled trades will be renamed to advanced engineering and technology because that definitely encompasses more of what the curriculum involves for them. We're adding principles of construction and engineering and manufacturing. I think I have lots of and.
Yes.
We're also looking to include pharmacology. So we are definitely looking at expanding opportunities for learning as much as we can at the high school level, which is really, really exciting. We also talked about catching up on our mid-year benchmark with our snow days. That put a little bit of a delay in behind, but we're going to be totally fine on that. So just walked through the timing of some of when we expect to have the benchmarks for our mid-year for students. Again, I think one thing that's really cool that we have now is that we can really look on an individual level for a student. So we have the technology and we have people in place who can really drill down for an individual student in an individual subject and identify areas that they need more support in. They also can identify areas where this student's really accelerated and where and how are we providing opportunities for growth, which I think is really, really exciting. And then the last thing is there's going to be a data center day. Vantage Data Center is partnering with the school, and we're really excited. They're going to sponsor a career type of day. Let's see, in the PAC on March 24th, and then we will also have the opportunity to take some students to the data center on the 25th and show them that. There's going to be a lot of cool, what they say, equipment and all kinds of other things.
Bringing in equipment.
Yep.
And it's just, I think it's really cool that outside of what we're teaching in the classroom, we're really looking at partnering with our community to have, to give our students opportunities to see what the workforce actually looks like. So we were pretty excited about that.
I think the parent night is the night before. That's the only.
Oh, family night on the 24th, and then
Yeah.
and then the students will be in the data center on the 25th. Yep.
We'll actually bring the equipment and everything here, and then we'll have a future follow-up field trip to there, so. But no, that's all right. That's
All
good.
right.
Yep.
Great job.
Very good. And that was curriculum.
Yep. Finance didn't meet, although we will at some point have to schedule a finance meeting, right?
I think it's
We actually-
scheduled for the 18th.
Oh, 18th, we got it?
18th.
Okay.
Yes.
Just
Okay.
It's gonna be a long day.
That is going to be
Um,
big. Isn't that our work
Oh.
session?
Okay. And then we have insurance scheduled on the 26th. Did you talk to Mrs. Lowe about getting together beforehand? Did either one of you? I think we were trying to get a date scheduled. Did we get that scheduled yet?
No,
I don't think we did yet.
No?
no, that, were you talking about the one that was supposed to be today?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Mr. Koppel, Mr. Frazier, I'd like to, if Felicia and I can sit down with you sometime before so we can try to show you some of the trend data and everything that we've been working on, because
Sure.
insurance is a lot of detail, and we thought it'd be good to, so you're just not getting it cold, that day, so. Mrs. Lowe, maybe at the end of the meeting here, why don't we get calendars and we'll try to get them scheduled, okay? Okay. Policy, we did have that meeting.
Yes, we met, was that last week? Ooh.
It was on the second, yeah?
We met last week as well. Jesse and I with Derek, we reviewed 15 different policies. They were all in the 5,000 student section, and just various topics, but all things that were already on our district catch-up project that we identified.
Yep.
And all on a first reading today.
And we didn't have technology, although we'll have to get that scheduled because this year is moving along, so we at least do one in the winter, spring, so we'll get that scheduled. And then we did have LPDC, we can go through that. So the Local Professional Development Committee met on January 20th. Members in attendance, Stephanie Stuckey, Laura Kurtz, Renee Britton, Annette Price, Robin Wagner, Abby Fitz, and Brad Weirman. I won't go through every detail because it was a long meeting, but they did go through individual professional development plans, which each teacher or staff member has to submit. And they had one submitted, and they also approved one, so one to look at for the future. There was a clarification issue they needed to manage on one person's backdated information. They also have part of what this committee focuses on, license renewal. So they actually work with some of the staff there, and it looks like they have 4 people they worked with on license renewal. One has more details to it, but the other 3 were approved. They also look at their plans and look at contact hours and how are those get approved. So they took care of that. And then they also talked about their calendar moving forward. So they have that scheduled. So they'll have that for the foreseeable future. I believe our next meeting is after school on February 19th at 3:30 p.m. And yeah, and that's it for the Local Professional Development Committee.
All right, great. And then we've got consent agenda next.
Yep. Resolution 26-02-028 is approval of the consent agenda.
Can I get a motion?
One motion.
Can I get a second?
Second.
And then you want me to run through these real quick?
Yeah.
Okay. We have the first item there is a district tutor, and won't put a lot of detail to it, but that's not a new position. That's just, it's another staff member can't fulfill one of the positions. We found another staff member. So that's what that is. We already talked about pupil activity employment, so under that section, you're gonna see Joel Metelko again for 7th grade softball coach, so he's an ad. Next we get into volunteers. We have a long list of volunteers there. One of the things that I put into the agenda, into the weekly report, what we call the Friday report, is what Mrs. Wagner and Mrs. Douglas are leading at the elementary school, and they have this leader program, so they're gonna have volunteers coming in and spending more time with students, and they have it targeted. In fact, we met today to look at some of that work, and it's just really more intimate and more content that they can focus with individual students. So and it's a great opportunity to get people in the schools, obviously, to work with our staff. We have some former staff who are helping. Chris Almendinger is one of them, for example, who's helping to. Yeah, she's helping to coordinate that and get some retirees in here and just people in the community. So really appreciate what Mrs. Wagner is leading there at JES with Mrs. Douglas. As you go through down the rest of the volunteers, I'm removing Joe Metelko from that section as I previously shared. We have Board of Education meeting minutes, so we have January 12th, we have the organizational meeting, and we followed that with the regular meeting, and then we also have a work session from January 29th. The monthly finance report is there, and that should complete consent unless there are questions.
Great. Anyone have questions? All right, can you call roll?
Mrs. Thomas?
Yes.
Mr. Frazier?
Yes.
Mrs. Davis?
Yes.
Mr. Benton?
Yes.
Mr. Koppel?
Yes.
All right, treasurer, we're ready
Okay.
for your recommendation.
So treasure recommendation 26-02-09 is approval of the current year budget and 3-year forecast.
Can I get a motion
I'll make the motion.
and a second?
I'll second.
I just need one moment. The
I knew
system
you
is
did.
really lagging tonight. So was that Mr. Benton?
Yes, and Anna is the second.
Okay. I'm gonna do this old school then. Mr. Benton?
Yes.
Mrs. Thomas?
Yes.
Mr. Frazier?
Yes.
Mrs. Davis?
Yes.
And Mr. Koppel?
Yes.
And we've removed resolution B,
Yes.
and
Yep, there's just one more recommendation, Resolution 2602031, approval of fund transfers. This would be, well, I'll wait for the motion.
All right, can I get a motion?
You want a motion? I'll motion.
I'll second it.
Okay.
This is an intra-fund transfer between the general fund and just allocating special cost centers for the budget reserve versus the unreserved general fund.
All right. Questions or comments? Jesse?
Did we have a list of those transfers in the attachments?
It should be, this is the attachment
Okay.
here.
Oh, yeah, I'll go back and review that.
But,
That's not the
But you can't.
attachment.
oh, is
That's
that
the
not the right
different one.
resolution?
No,
Oh,
should be here.
Okay.
yeah,
It
let's
should be
see.
that one
Well,
right
if the
there.
system
Gotcha.
responded, I could
Okay.
pull it up and show you.
Gotcha.
It should be right there.
You can't get that live right now because the system, okay,
No.
I'm good.
okay.
So you just look at that.
Any other questions?
I missed it on the top.
When you're ready, call the roll.
I'm trying to learn now.
Mrs. Thomas?
Yes?
Mr. Benton?
Yes.
Mr. Koppel?
Yes.
Mr. Frazier?
Yes.
Mrs. Davis?
Yes.
Resolution 26-02-032 is a resolution for a volunteer.
Can I get a motion?
I'll motion.
Second?
I'll second.
So there's not a conflict of interest. We pulled Mrs. Kathy Benton out of the larger consent agenda. But she's offered to help with that Reader's Leader program at JES that we previously talked about.
And we'll get.
Very excited about this program.
Yeah.
Yeah, we can't wait to hear more. But I heard you talking about all kinds of volunteers with Debbie, so
Yeah.
people already signed it.
We have, we invited 17 people to start with. Mrs. Almdorfer has done all of the work, like recruiting people.
Oh,
And then Culver finished, he's gonna be in front of you, I believe, tonight on the agenda. Maybe 11, I'm not sure, 11 or 12. But hopefully the rest of them will finish their background checks and we can put them on in upcoming. They'll be working with KN1 students, doing different things, but some of it will be helping those students who are working on Lexia, which is the program that was previously purchased, which is adaptive to, so it's right where students are, and helping some of those students when they get stuck, so they don't remain stuck, or there's lessons that it provides, and so doing that. We have a couple that just want to be readers with kids, so we will look at kids who need a fluency goal, and we will be having them work with them. So our KN1 teachers have been very excited. They've given us a list of students, and so we hope to be able to start next Tuesday. Some days we have 5 volunteers, some days we have 3 volunteers, but
okay.
Mondays through Thursdays, we have lots of volunteers.
That's fabulous. Thank you for the update.
And what's really exciting is that there's a lot of retired teachers.
Yes.
That both
that
were
was our
from our
target.
school district and from other school districts that now live within our community. So I think that's really exciting because they should be able to make an impact since they were career teachers.
Yeah.
So.
And I think it's exciting to see how many names that are on here that we recognize. I think that's great.
And also just thank you to the volunteers. Like you said, it's a long list, which is fabulous. We're so grateful to have parents, community members, retired teachers, anyone who's willing to come in, whether it's to read or to be on a field trip. We really appreciate that. All right, Treasurer?
Mrs. Thomas?
Yes.
Mr. Frazier?
Yes.
Mrs. Davis?
Yes.
Mr. Koppel?
Yes.
Mr. Benton?
Abstain.
Next resolution is 26-02-033 supplemental contract pro rata compensation.
And can I get a motion?
I'll motion.
Second?
I'll second.
Thank you.
I know for some of you, you've seen this, because it went back to last year in March, but we had to put a former staff member on paid administrative leave, and then we waited for some legal proceedings to unfold, which they have now for Mr. Corey Ross. So we still have to compensate him for the time he worked prior to when we put him on leave, and then, we're not required to pay him for the remaining time. And then we had some of our staff come in and help out, which they always jump in. So we have Melissa Dyer, who worked for a week, and then we ended up splitting the position after that, and it was a .8 to William Dyer, and then 8.2 to Melissa Dyer so she could help oversee, and they went from April 7th through the end of the track season, which was, middle school track was the end of, it was May 10th, 2025, so. Okay.
Call the roll?
Let me verify, please. Mrs. Thomas, were you first?
Yes, I was.
And Mr. Frazier second?
Correct.
Okay, thank you. Mrs. Thomas?
Yes.
Mr. Frazier?
Yes.
Mr. Koppel?
Yes.
Mr. Benton?
Yes.
Mrs. Davis?
Yes.
Resolution 26-02-034, Ohio High School Athletic Association participation, membership.
Can I get a motion?
I'll motion.
Second.
Second.
This is one we do annually, so we participate in the Ohio High School Athletic Association and all of its programs. So this is just your annual membership.
Have we received the fee for that yet?
I don't remember
Usually
what
we
the
approve
cost
it
is.
first and then it comes in. I just wondered, so many of the fees have gone up and other things, if this went
Yeah,
up
I
as
don't
well.
know that we, I wanted to tell you,
think
two
it's been
ministers had to
increased.
leave, so I know
know, I
that
just saw
Mr.
it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
well,
Okay.
no, it's that they're covering the games, events, like Mr. Shipton has to leave in a few minutes
Yeah,
too.
no
And
problem.
a couple of them had to leave because they're current events. You're going to Utica's game and then, yeah. Yeah, and Nick Hancock he's going to cover a game, so anyways, we'll find that
I
out
know
and
it's
get
for the
that to the
future,
back.
For 2026, 2027, so.
Yeah,
that's
it's
fine.
for next year, but I will, we'll do a follow-up on that and I'll get it to the board as a response, okay?
Okay, thank you. Good question, Ann. Any other questions? Right, call the roll?
Mrs. Thomas?
Yes.
Mr. Frazier?
Yes.
Mrs. Davis?
Yes.
Mr. Benton?
Yes.
Mr. Koppel?
Yes.
Resolution 26-02-035 is 22 and older program graduation.
Can I get a motion?
I'll motion.
Second.
I'll second.
So this is for Jamie Kane, and there's different ways that you can try and reach graduation, and this one was, this situation involved Zane College. So we're gonna try and see if we can find out some more about Jamie, and perhaps we can get him to a graduation ceremony or something, you know.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Happy that he's able to complete this program
Yeah.
and very excited for him.
Yeah, congratulations. Call the roll?
Mrs. Thomas?
Yes.
Mr. Frazier?
Yes.
Mr. Benton?
Yes.
Mr. Koppel?
Yes.
Mrs. Davis?
Yes.
Resolution 26-02-036, high school program of studies.
Can I get a motion?
I'll motion.
Second?
I'll second.
This is, you summarized it well
Yep.
from the curriculum committee, so not significant changes for next year, but some updates, so.
Yep. Questions on those? All right, call the roll?
Mrs. Thomas?
Yes.
Mr. Frazier?
Yes.
Mrs. Davis?
Yes.
Mr. Benton?
Yes.
Mr. Koppel?
Yes.
Resolution 26-02-037, middle school program of studies.
Can I get a motion?
I'll motion.
Second.
Second.
Similar to the last one, you know,
Yep.
this was reviewed curriculum committee, and I know the board has a summary from the information that was shared.
Questions? Any questions? No, you're okay.
Is
All right.
Is it still dragging?
It's terrible.
Oh, okay. sorry. It's an online platform, so we
Yeah.
can't control some of it.
It's,
Are you able to connect to your hotspot?
I did
Oh.
that and
It's-
it worked a little bit. I think
it's-
it's board docs.
Yeah, it's not the Wi-Fi.
Oh.
No, it's not the
Okay.
Wi-Fi.
Yeah,
We've had trouble with
this
it.
It's
too.
been like this a little bit throughout the day. We've had issues, but
We can slow
Sorry.
down.
it's rough.
Yeah, we
But
can-
just call the roll when you're ready.
I'm ready. Mrs. Thomas?
Yes.
Mr. Frazier?
Yes.
Mr. Koppel?
Yes.
Mrs. Davis?
Yes.
Mr. Benton?
Yes.
Resolution 26-02-03 is Zero Eyes subscription agreement.
Sorry. Can I get a motion?
I'll motion.
Second.
On this one, you know, we've looked at this through some of our committees and all too, and one of the questions have been asked, this is a 5-year contract, but one of the questions been asked is there an exit clause on this? And there is, so we're not bound to 5 years. I think that's you know, we want to set to the future, and this enhances our safety and security, but it also allows us that we can exit if we need to, if we have a different financial arrangement, we wanted to reapportion our money somewhere else. Also, even with the advancement of AI, you know, you've seen presentations already about how we use AI with our camera systems already too. But this is more than that for right now, so we're recommending the approval of that, but it's something we can talk about in the future if there's a change.
Any questions on this one, comments?
Well, can you just allude to the fact that we're using our existing technology, our existing camera system really is, since we did the update, what, about a year ago, that really lends itself to additional services that we can piggyback onto our existing equipment to provide more security for our community and for our students.
Yeah, it's a good point. It really does rest on our infrastructure, and you're right. We've completed a lot of that project over the summer. So with our single platform, in fact, the system they recommend is the one that we deployed at 100% now in our school districts. That's a good point, Mr. Benton.
Any other questions, comments?
I was very impressed with the presentation that we were shown, that.
Oh, it's a
Mr.
work
Busen-
session, yeah.
Yes, and
Yeah.
Mr. Busenberg arranged that,
Yep.
I'm sure with, along with your assistance, Dr. Wiener.
I
do
helped a little bit,
appreciate-
yeah, but
I
Mr.
do
Busenberg's been
appreciate
running
that we
point
had
of this.
that
Yeah.
demonstration and were able to talk to
Yeah.
the company.
Yeah.
We asked, I think all the board members were able to
Yeah.
ask
Yep.
very important questions, and I personally am impressed by what I
Yeah.
saw.
Yeah.
I was able to ask somebody else who does security and IT in many other school districts, and said that from their experience, the schools who are using Zero Eyes are very, very happy with that.
Yeah, I did the same thing, so
Yeah.
I met with a security company, and this is even, I mean, it's a security company, and this is even a step ahead from what they're using, so very cutting edge stuff, and I think it'll, kind of what Alan was saying, it feels like it brings more value out of the security system that we currently have. It consolidates the information coming through there. Exciting.
And it really lends itself that, you know, we've spent a lot of time as a board and as an administration really looking at systems that we can put in place. And we spend a lot of time really looking at the systems before we make a decision, because we want to put systems in place that have longevity to them and that we can add additional services to them. So thanks for the administration for spending all the time to take a look at everything, because these decisions are not easily made. It takes a lot of background information to pull everything together.
I had one additional thought on if they were able to provide some metric reporting from periodically on how many false positives or how many triggers that they're picking up, I think that would be good for us to be able to review on an annual basis, so we can gauge kind of the value of the ongoing service.
I think that's a really good point. In fact, you know, we want to wait a year for that. Let's get this launched, because we know there's going to be, as we onboard that this year, but we'll definitely do that. We should be able to get something before the end of by the end of the school year, let's say probably May or June. And let's get that, we'll do that at a work session for the board, and I think that's a great idea, and then we can do spot checks along the way.
Yeah.
I think that's a
that's good.
really good idea.
Also, call out for Mr. Busenberg for his negotiation skills on this thing too. And helping us, I mean, with minimal risk, I think, and being able to exit at any time was a big deal.
Yeah?
Yeah.
All right. Any other comments? Call the roll.
Mr. Frazier?
Yes.
That's wrong.
Oh,
Sorry,
were you
I was
first?
first.
Okay.
But I mean.
It doesn't matter.
She just want to make sure our records are correct.
But my records
No,
are gonna
it's
be wrong
important.
when I read back through and I'll call you in
No,
2
I
weeks.
appreciate it. Thank you, okay.
And it's detailed.
Mrs. Thomas?
Yes, please.
Mr. Frazier?
Yes.
Mr. Benton?
Yes.
Mrs. Davis?
Yes.
Mr. Koppel?
Yes.
Resolution 26-02-039 is additional compensation.
Can I get a motion?
I'll motion.
And a second.
Second.
This is additional compensation for Mr. Christian Grove. When teachers are out and have to cover someone else's assignment, then we often compensate them. There's a provision for that. Due to some foreseeable and scheduled requirements, Mr. Shipton was out of the office there for 15 days, and Mr. Grove was effectively the building principal. So I just took the differential between their two salaries and multiplied by 15, so that's how we come up with the $2,003.25.
Any questions, comments? All right. Call the roll.
Mrs. Thomas?
Yes.
Mr. Frazier,
Yes.
Mr. Koppel,
Yes.
Mrs. Davis,
Yes.
Mr. Benton.
Yes.
Resolution 26-02-040, second reading of revised policies.
Can I get a motion?
Make the motion to approve?
Thank you. And a second.
I'll second it.
I could go
You see
through
what
these,
they're
but I
doing
know
down
the
there, don't you?
the board has seen these, so let us know, let me know if there's questions on any.
Right, call the roll.
Mr. Koppel,
Yes.
Mr. Benton.
Yes.
Mrs. Davis,
Yes.
Mrs. Thomas,
Yes.
Mr. Frazier.
Yes.
Resolution 26-02-041, second reading to rescind policies.
Can I get a motion?
I'll motion.
And a second.
I'll second.
As a reminder to the board, if you see a rescind like this and then the following resolution is replacement, they're typically the same policies, which it is in this situation. That's because there's been multiple revisions and it's just easier to rescind it, start with a fresh base, and then you would adopt the replacement policies. It's just a better way than going through 3 iterations of
Yeah.
policy changes. So,
Yeah, appreciate
Okay.
that.
sure.
Call the roll.
Mrs. Thomas,
Yes.
Mr. Frazier,
Yes.
Mr. Benton,
Yes.
Mr. Koppel,
Yes.
Mrs. Davis.
Yes.
Resolution 26-02-042, second reading of replacement policies.
Motion.
I'll motion.
Second.
Second.
Think I need to say anything?
Nope.
Yeah, okay.
Questions, comments? Okay, call the roll.
Mrs. Thomas.
Yes.
Mr. Frazier,
Yes.
Mr. Koppel,
Yes.
Mrs. Davis,
Yes.
Mr. Benton.
Yes.
Resolution 26-02-043, second reading of new policies.
Motion.
I'll make a motion to pass.
I'll second.
Thank you. Call
And these policies are typically when there hasn't been in a previous one, or it's so drastically different, new numbering and all, that's why it's a new policy, so.
Yes. Call the roll.
Mr. Koppel,
Yes.
Mrs. Thomas.
Yes.
Mr. Frazier,
Yes.
Mrs. Davis,
Yes.
Mr. Benton.
Yes.
Resolution 26-02-044, first reading of revised policies.
Motion.
I'll motion.
Second.
I'll second.
Call the roll.
Mrs. Thomas,
Yes.
Mr. Frazier,
Yes.
Mr. Benton,
Yes.
Mr. Koppel,
Yes.
Mrs. Davis.
Yes.
Resolution 26-02-045, first reading of new policies.
Can I get a motion?
I'll motion.
And a second.
Second.
Call the roll.
Mrs. Thomas,
Yes.
Mr. Frazier,
Yes.
Mr. Koppel,
Yes.
Mr. Benton,
Yes.
Mrs. Davis.
Yes. Board comments?
Board comments.
Well, I'd just like to thank everybody who came out. I know, I'm not gonna steal your thunder on
No,
that.
steal the thunder, it's
No,
fine.
no, no, no.
No.
He always
Steal
gets
the
upset
thunder.
because I steal his thunder.
Oh,
But,
that's
I
not
was
true.
gonna
It makes
say.
you sound
You
defensive.
just take what he was gonna say.
I just want to thank everybody who worked so hard in the past month. January was an extensive snowmageddon that we haven't experienced in a long time in Ohio. And I had forgotten how wonderful it is in the wintertime in Ohio. So I want to thank our staff because they did an enormous amount here. And we're ready every day to start school if we were able to. I want to thank our maintenance department. I want to thank all of the kids that came out to volunteer to shovel. They look so happy, much happier than my children ever did, shoveling snow. So I want to thank them. They took time out. I want to thank the parents who did that as well. The township, our townships worked together, our city worked together, and I don't know the whole long list, but anybody that helped. Mr. Busenberg, I know you arranged a lot of this. Thank you to our coaching staff who helped arrange that, to Dr. Wagner, of course, who was leading that, so I appreciate everything.
Anybody else?
I just want to thank the board for support in sending me to a new board member training over the last weekend. It was a 2-day training, very valuable, got a lot out of it, met a lot of great people. It was great to network with new board members that are coming in to positions in the local area too. But that, yeah, I got a ton out of that. It was good investment, and appreciate the support there.
Great.
Yeah.
Welcome.
Nope.
Nope. Nope. Superintendent comments?
So Andrew stole my notes.
I told you,
Now that he has that.
he gets so defensive. No, I want you to do your.
I
Don't
did
echo
not
what I
get
said.
defensive.
Maybe
I
we should
did
move
not
his
get
comments
defensive.
first.
You set that up, so I couldn't help. So.
Well, I am on buildings, grounds, and safety.
Yes, you are. Yes, you are. No, I think you said it well. I'm just so proud of everyone with the community. I mean, you know, we took some challenging situation and made it positive. I've told some of you this story, but it was a fun event. I do want to acknowledge Mr. Busenberg because he handled a lot of logistics, and then Derek Holter on our maintenance staff running point there. So many people behind the scenes, like you said, community members. Some of the dads, maybe moms too, but went out and cleared in advance. So when we got to Creekside Preserve, major sections that were done. We had a few sections we had to clean up. Similar thing, things were done the night before, that Thursday before we got together on Friday. But my most fun experience was working with the kids, I have to say. You know, it was just so fun.
That's great.
We were trying to get them, the media picked up on this, which was exciting. And just a couple interesting stories there. I was telling somebody this, but you know, if you ever go to the gym and you start working next to somebody, you're getting on a treadmill, you start picking up their pace. I think that's the advantage of being there at the gym, right? So we were trying to get the kids there, and we had one of the television news stations, and they're interviewing the students. And I'm going with the kids, and I'm shoving, and then they're like, and what do you think? And give me the mic, and I'm huffing and puffing, and one of those, if you look at it, I'm like, well, you know, because, you know, you're on pace with and the kids were so fast, you know, like as an adult, you'd look from here to that wire, like, oh my gosh, we turned 5 and loosened, they were gone, you know, and it was just, yeah, it was impressive. And then it was interesting too, the media, they would come and they'd put their tripod down and they'd set, and by the time they set here, they were done. So Craig, you know, McDonald did a lot too to help with this facilitating, and we would tell them, go like a half mile up the road, we'll catch you, you know, eventually to do that. And then, you know, trying to help the media a little bit too. It was fun. Like a couple of kids were throwing snowballs. I'm like, stop throwing snowballs, you know, because we're trying to make sure it looks good for the media.
I never saw any snowballs.
No, you didn't
That's
see
what I
any of them.
couldn't
Those are things we were working on.
Couldn't
So
believe that.
it
Wasn't
was
there
okay.
was
Just a few, just a
it
few.
looked
But
very regimented.
people from the community came out. It did. It was great. People from the community came out and offered hot chocolate to some of the kids. It was
That's
just,
great.
yeah, it was a nice event. So, yeah. But boy, I'll tell you, the kids can move. So I was with the girls softball, and they were making me tired there at the beginning. So, yeah. But what a nice event. So again, and we opened the schools Monday, and now we're in our second week, and you know, nothing's perfect, but it's going well. It was a little challenging on Friday, but you saw what we did with the early release, and that worked out. Never a big fan of early release for elementary and intermediate, because I feel like we're potentially sending children home to empty homes and all too, so I'm not a big fan of that. But what we did with high school, middle school worked, because, in fact, it worked so well, Mr. Wehrman, and that's probably, I haven't talked to Mrs. Wagner about it either, but they were like, our buses were earlier, and they got out. So I came into the office to check on things, and I entered into a round of applause, which doesn't happen often, but it's okay. So, but anyway, so we'll continue to deal with this atypical winter, but appreciate everyone's support on that too, because there's a lot of people we, you know, aren't even aware and can't think, so. Food drive presentation, there was some confusion with that, with some different schedules and all, but I know that Mr. Geis was able to accept that on behalf of the Johnstown-Monroe schools. That's our friendly battle with Northridge, and my understanding is that it was close this year. So
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
So we overall excelled in our food drive
Well,
efforts,
normally it's
but
not so close, right?
it was closer this time than I've seen, so I don't want to get into too much specifics, but I think we need to up our game
Yeah,
for
we
next
need
year.
to.
I think we can't be
Classroom
resting our
incentives.
laurels. I know we've won that recognition or contest now for many years, so I think we're, you know, there's a new benchmark there, so we better step up our game. But that's, you know, we always talk about that's a fun competition, but it's really those who win who have food insecurities and rely on the food bank and all too, because my understanding is this was one of their best campaigns, even though we were close to coming in. Anyway, it was a close first and second race, but it's still all the, people who need it really profit and bear the fruits of that, so we appreciate that. So, PTO did their Wizards game, when they did last year's game, which was a resounding success. They said they would try it one more year and then we'll go on in every other year. Went really well though. They're still getting, some final numbers, but their profit on that, which, they always push back in schools, is almost $7,000. So that's exciting, yeah.
Very exciting.
They got a few bills here
They
and there.
packed out the gym again this year, yeah.
They did. It was a good event. I think we had some support, right, and concessions and
Sold out of every
selling.
single
You were the food concessions, and you were tchotchkes and other events. Tchotchkes and basketballs and yes,
Oh my gosh.
yeah,
I had
so
all that
all
stuff.
kinds of things. And I think we had some in the crowd cheering on,
I bet.
right? So we had people in the crowd cheering on. So that was all good. So we appreciate all the support there. But that's a nice event. Like I said, we'll put that on the rotation, so we'll look at that in 2028. They're looking at some other alternative, maybe mix it up a little bit for next year, but we'll see where the PTO wants to take that, but they always do a nice job. You probably saw this, and I think Mrs. Schaefer's still here, but there's a group of students in somewhat 4th and 5th grade, Mrs. Ruffalo and Mrs. Schaefer, and they want to talk about recycling. So we actually had a sit-down meeting, which was very nice. It's a good time because Mr. Busenberg and I are looking at the trash and recycling contract right now. And I think the students were interested to learn that we do some recycling, but I think they want to be able to talk about more. And so we're looking at receptacles we put in the building. And I think we're going to start, well, I shouldn't say I think, we're going to start at JIS, the intermediate school. I always believe in proof of concept, expand it a bit. And then, we'll go from there, probably look at district-wide. But I'll tell you, again, another opportunity. You sit there with 4th and 5th graders, and it just warms your heart for the future because you see the leadership at that age. And they were prepared, and they had notes, and, they did a nice job. So thank you to Mrs. Schaefer and Mrs. Ruffle, and then Mr. Werman for leading all that, too. But more to come on that, but I know you've seen some of that. So, building projects. If you haven't, well, I know you've probably heard by now, you've seen some of the updates, but the back is open now, so we've got a few things on the punch list, but they're using it for baseball, softball. Probably in the next week or two, we'll get the wrestling, cheerleading ready. Wrestling's at the end of its season, but we have to cut those mats in, but it's really nice back there. We took some city people back last week, and they were amazed at how good it looks, so that's exciting. And then if you pulled in today, you saw some equipment's being staged out here, and you'll see that at the North Campus too. They're going to start moving some of the snow. Won't be a lot of upgrades to the area here, but again, here and at the North Campus, they're going to start to probably move some of the snow and get some things marked out. If the weather is manageable and better for us, then we'll probably start to break ground latter part of this month or certainly next month. So that'll keep us on pace for this multi-purpose building, and the North Campus could be done by December this year. So we'll keep you updated. We'll see if we run into anything. I'm sure you're tracking all this too, but we have different aspects of the project we're working on. One thing that has taken a lot of time, but it's well worth it, is the turf. And we're working with turf vendors for the North Campus. So a lot of variations there. We're learning about the physics and different applications in terms of drainage, backfill, all kinds of good stuff there. Thread composition and, different options with turf. But I think we're gonna have a good product here, so we'll keep the board updated. Lastly, we talk about public-private partnerships. You brought up Vantage, and they've been a good partner. And one of the things that we're trying to do with one of our local partners as well is seeing what we can do from a STEAM standpoint. And you talked about the multi-skilled technician program and some of the things we're trying to do more application-based. With a company, Atrium here, they actually designed this poster right here. And my understanding is this is for Mac Tools, and it's on a racing contract. Alita, I think it is, Motorsports. So what's interesting is our students produced this. So they gave us the template for this and the paper, and then our students have produced this. So it's a nice, first-time project we're getting there. And, that STEAM equipment and some, we had big donations from Meta, Facebook Meta over $300,000 2 years ago, and we had $250,000 from Intel. So they both have helped our programs, and we have STEAM equipment from kindergarten through 12th grade. So in those 13 years, kids have access from very rudimentary 3D printers all the way through high ends. And so more to come, but this is a first product, so we're kind of excited about that.
What are they gonna do with that? What
They're
is that
actually,
for?
we actually served as the production arm, so they're going to, I guess, give
Oh.
these, and then I think what they do is they take a Sharpie that's gold or something, they can write on this, but they'll sign these. I think this is like, when they're at events, they'll,
Okay.
I
When
think
they're at trade
this
shows.
Kalita will,
Mhm.
yeah,
Very
will
cool.
sign. I think they'll have people there. So,
Very
yeah,
neat.
so anyways, that's our first one. Mr. Shipton's not here, but he and Mr. Grove have been leading a lot of this. And Mr. McDonald's been very involved with this too. But yeah, first step and more to come. But they're interested in our vinyl printer and some other things we're able to do. So smaller scale items, we'll look and see what can be done. And that is my list.
Very exciting.
Yeah.
All right. And resolution for executive session.
Right, so we have, I'll read some of this. So resolution 26-02-046 is executive session. And we have it for two reasons. Everyone can read it here, but I'll read the shorter version. It's on economic development. So it's consideration of confidential information related to the marketing plan, specific business strategy, production techniques, trade secrets. You getting all this? Okay, I know you gotta do this. Yes, it is typed. I didn't know if your system was working.
It is
Or
not.
personal financial statements of an applicant for economic development assistance, or to negotiations with other political subdivisions respecting requests for economic development assistance, provided that both conditions apply. And like I said, there's more information there, but, and then the second reason is, for executive session, is for the consideration of appointment, employment, dismissal, discipline, promotion, demotion, or compensation of a public employee or official. And I do not believe that we will, there's a vote afterwards,
no
right?
action.
Other than to end the meeting, so.
Right. All right, can I get a motion?
I'll motion.
And a second.
Second.
And then one of the things we were gonna do is shut down the stream after this, because we figured executive session would be a while, so there won't be any more after it. If anybody's watching this, there won't be any more to this, and then we'll end, and then the only thing that'll be left will be the vote to go to
Adjourn.
adjourn the meeting, yeah.
All right. Call roll.
Mrs. Thomas?
Yes.
Mr. Frazier?
Yes.
Mr. Koppel?
Yes.
Mr. Benson?
Yes.
Mrs. Davis?
Yes.
Ended at 6:17, is that right?
Yep.
Okay, and then you want to enter an executive session in about 5 minutes, or is that okay?
5 minutes.
Yeah,
Okay.
5 minutes.
Give us
Are
a
we
Nope.
doing it here or are we going next door?
Yeah, I think we'll do
We'll
it
do it
here,
here.
because there might